The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report. Dom here with the triumphant return of Mr. Raw Dog himself, Andrew Hansen.
How did you go with the Raw Dog Challenge, Dommy? We set everybody the challenge, didn't we, of, listening to a 10-hour-long episode of this very podcast, as you would if you were raw dogging on a 10-hour flight and doing nothing at all, having no entertainment, nothing whatsoever. Just sit there and listen to it and see if you could spot the secret message.
Without even going to the toilet, indeed. I want, without any further ado, to announce and applaud the winner of the challenge, the first person to correctly identify what was said and when it was said. Let's get into who they were and what they did after this. Build of the suspense. Who wants to be a millionaire style? Andrew, did you like that?
I'm on the edge of my seat. Even I couldn't spot the hidden phrase, and I said it.
You did.
It's very hard to spot.
Over to Omja Das, who emailed at 9:17 a.m. on the day of release, straight into it. I don't know how Omja managed to listen to it. I assume Omja didn't skip forwards or load it into a sound editing app or something to look for the waveform.
No. You wouldn't. I'm sure he listens to all the advertisements too. Very faithfully sits and listens to them. Doesn't skip forward.
And Omja says, Andrew says chicken vol au vent at 7 hours and 47 minutes to get it 747 into the podcast. Andrew, did you indeed say chicken vol au vent?
Yes, that is the absolute correct answer. Congratulations to you for having listened to all 10, or at least the first 7 hours and 47 minutes. How do we know, Tommy, that they listened to the remaining 2 hours and 23 minutes?
Omja doesn't strike me as the kind of person who would do us dirty on this one. Here's a quick clip from the podcast of the fateful moment when Andrew did actually say something during our 10-hour ordeal. Producer Lachlan, please insert here.
Chicken vol au vent.
What he said. And I must say, it was suspenseful for me to just know what you were going to say, when you were going to say it. I've never waited so long. It was like waiting for, tickets to U2 back in the day or something, or...
Oh, it was suspenseful for me too, Tommy. I mean, waiting 7 hours and 47 minutes just to speak, because I was terrified I was going to miss my cue, because I know that we had agreed it had to be 7 hours 47 minutes to sound like an aeroplane.
Yes,
I was petrified. Imagine if I'd forgotten to come in on time and I'd come in at 7:48. We would have had to start again.
We would have had to
restart the recording and do another 7 hours and 47 minutes.
I must say as well, it was a bit of a punish after you said chicken vol au vent, and I think I just laughed and said
there was nothing else to look forward to.
I had no idea what you were going to say. But then knowing that I had to keep going for another 2 hours and 13 minutes after the suspense had been sort of dissipated from the chat, it wasn't easy, but it was worth it for the listeners, Andrew, because it's all about the listeners, and it's all about Omja, who wins a prize.
Well done, Omja. I just realised you're right, Dommy. It's 2 hours 13. I can't add up. I don't know how many minutes I'm talking about here.
But look, I don't know what the prize is going to be yet, because Charles is in charge of all the merch. Mr. Inflatable Avocado Pool Toy himself. He's still overseas, so we'll check it out with him when he comes back. I can't get into the merch cupboard. I'm not even sure which state it's located in. So there is a giant stockpile of Chaser merch. I've been there a long time ago. We'll break into it for you, Omja.
Well, or even which country. I mean, it's probably buried deep underneath the earth in Norway, like nuclear waste.
That's right, with biohazard signs on it. That's true. Now, look, honourable mention to the others who mentioned the whole thing. There are a couple of comments here. Let's just go through some. But Omja is our winner. The others were later than Omja. Andrew Rutherford says... And the thing we forgot, Andrew, is that, in fact, there are ads in the podcast. So it's hard to time it exactly to 7:47, which makes me think that Omja did actually download the MP3 of the audio so that it was 7:47. Andrew Rutherford said 7 hours 42 and 20 seconds. Andrew says something that sounds like chicken vol au vent, and he had to check the spelling of vol au vent. So well done, got that right.
Oh, yeah, well done. Or maybe they're French.
Indeed. Nandita Hanam said, I thought you two were playing silly buggers, but it's there at 7:48 and 38. So that's not 7:47. And Dom says what he said.
We don't play silly.
So the involvement of advertisers has ruined everything, as it always does.
Yeah, well, we could have foreseen that, couldn't we? Yeah, of course. They've actually sabotaged our entire competition and rendered it invalid, I think. I mean, I don't think we can even hand out a prize now.
Indeed.
Or we might have to hand out a prize to everybody. I mean, it depends what Charles Firth can afford to get out of the Chaser nuclear vault.
And I mean,
prizes.
Alan Rutherford's confessed that he cheated. Alan said, well, that was fun. Incorrect. Luckily, I decided it would be in the last half of the episode, so I saved a bit of time. So clearly skip forward, Alan.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think Alan's not the only one. I mean, I noticed on the socials, you and I were messaged by the ABC's Matt Bevan.
Oh, yes, Matt Bevan.
And that was within a very short time of the release of the podcast. I don't believe Matt Bevan would have listened to the full 10 hours.
I don't think so. He's a busy man.
Phrase.
He's making If You're Listening, but he did have a rather brilliant suggestion, which is that he was proposing a remixed version that had you saying chicken vol au vent and endless loop for 7 hours and 47 seconds, and then a brief delay, the brief empty space, and then continuing for the rest of the pod. So I thought that was good.
That is a wonderful idea to challenge people to spot when the silence occurs. I mean, imagine listening to that. You want raw dogging, you try chicken vol au vent dogging. That would be really, really punishing.
Yes, and the one thing, you've discovered the one thing worse than no food on the flight is a flight with chicken vol au vent at 7 hours, 47 minutes into it. So yes, so that's it. I don't know if we'll actually make that version, but I guess, you've got some skills. You could take the little clip and turn it into a dance floor banger, couldn't you?
Well, why don't we do that? Perhaps we can release that in a future episode.
That would be wonderful.
The chicken vol au vent single.
Chicken volleyball.
Might be coming your way. Should I include the 7 hours and 47 minutes of silence in the dance single as well?
Think
that could be in the radio edit.
That's the 12-inch remix. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we'll release that and see if Nova will play it. They'd probably be quite pleased.
They would.
It'd fill their whole day of schedule. They'd be like the world's first 7 hour and 47 minute pop song.
It would be a lot better than a lot of radio. I think rather than Carl and Jackie O, I would rather listen to that.
Look, I think there's a lot to be said for just silence or aeroplane noise on the radio, Dommy. Smooth FM, for instance, they advertise themselves as being, more music, less talk. But I reckon we should start a station that's less music, less talk.
Yeah.
More aeroplane noise.
Just the white noise. And this is what Matt Bevan said on X/Twitter, that it was, if someone went to bed at 10 p.m, he worked out, they'd be woken up at 5:48 a.m. by someone saying chicken vol au vent, thereby ruining the white noise track that people could use for sleeping purposes. And I must say, it's a long time since I got to sleep for 7 hours 47 continuously. I'd love, even that would be a huge improvement. Children
imagine at our point in life, Tommy, even to sleep for 7 minutes and 47 seconds would be amazing. I think Matt may have missed the point there. He's supposed to be raw dogging the episode. You're not meant to sleep through the episode as a soothing white noise calming app.
This is the problem.
That's not what it's for.
This is the thing that's really disappointing, is that we've succeeded in producing a sleep aid, Andrew. And if we could have slept while recording it would have been much better.
The Chaser Report. It's your sleep aid.
A lot of people put in that they tried sleeping to it.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Anybody succeed? Anybody say that it was useful or good in that way?
Some people did actually. Lauren said, "Thanks for a surprisingly therapeutic episode. The white noise really helped me relax after a rather stressful week." So there you go, an accidental public service.
Great. Oh, that's fantastic to hear, Lauren. I'm pleased that we could have done that for you.
Lauren's emailed me several times, just in case it hadn't worked. I think a few people got sort of bounce backs or something. I'm not sure what went on there, but
classic Chaser,
something to do with
Chaser cost cutting.
But Michael, for a special award to Michael with no monetary value, Michael emailed me at least 5 times on podcast@chaser.com.au to say that nothing was said until 9 hours and 59 minutes and 37 seconds, thus missing the whole point. Michael said it worked as white noise to go to sleep, but completely missed the chicken vol au vent and just came back for the ending.
That would be irritating, Michael. You need to listen again. Just start it over.
Go back and do it. Mark sent a screen cap of having gotten to the end of the whole 10 hours, although, of course, you could skip forward, so hoping it was genuine. My bladder is full, says Mark. Thank fuck it wasn't water music in the background. Yes, if we'd done 10 hours of a dripping tap, that would have been torturous, wouldn't it? And said the 10 hours of static was therapeutic and has cleared out my ear canal. So Mark missed the vol au vent as well.
It's interesting. I suppose I said it in a very soothing way.
It was very nice how you said
Yeah,
it.
yeah. If you were in the middle of REM sleep, it might have just made you dream of floating chicken vol au vents.
Oh, you can imagine, yes, the Homer Simpson sort of land of chicken vol au vent scene.
Oh, yeah. We'd all like to live there.
Little trampolines.
You don't see them anymore, do you? I mean, I haven't been offered a vol au vent in many years. Have you, Dommy?
No, it's been a very long time. It's been a very long time in between vol au vent.
I remember, I think it was Jeff Duff who had a song about
Did he?
vol au vents, didn't he?
Well, tell us what inspired you. I mean, you had 7 hours. One of the biggest creative challenges of your life, Andrew, really, is having to work out what you would say, what random thing you would say. I didn't know what to expect.
Well, it had to be. It had to be something quite unusual that people had not encountered in a long time. And this is why I said it, Dommy, because I was thinking, well, what's something that I could dredge up from the mists of history and, not something that's on everybody's mind.
No, it's not at all. It's not at all.
Although I'm hoping it now is.
Yeah,
I'd quite like to see a return of the chicken vol au vent. It's a nice hot little creamy treat in a pastry case. It's nice, isn't it?
Particularly now that you're off the veggie. Yes, chicken vol au vent, one of the great treats to meat eaters. Let's just take a moment to think about chicken vol au vent, shall we, while we listen to ads?
The Chaser Report. News you can't trust.
Yes, no, I would devour several if they were here, Andrew, if we had chicken vol au vent. But my question just about your creative process, I always want to know how the great minds work. Did you immediately seize upon vol au vent, like about a minute or two into the 7 hours 47? Or did you have other candidates? Did you go through a whole process of deciding?
Oh, yeah, great question, Dommy. I mean, yes, no, I was certainly, sifting through some other kind of obscure culinary treats from yesterday. I was thinking, of maybe suggesting an egg in aspic.
Oh.
That might have been good to pop in the podcast, or half a grapefruit with a cherry in the middle.
Yes. So it was sort of like the food of the 7, like a prawn cocktail type thing.
Yeah, or an avocado vinaigrette, as the waitress would sometimes offer,
Yeah. Oh, goodness me. So this really was a journey for you. I didn't mean to give myself the easier job. I just sat there hoping that you'd speak, and it kept me awake, of course. Just wondering when you would.
Hanging on my every syllable, I imagine, Dommy. Yeah. Oh, it's quite gripping if you're waiting for me to say something, let me tell you.
I think this is a service you should offer. I think, because I know you're available on, Cameo and to do a shout out. I think people should get you for a 10-hour Zoom, which it's really a form of meditation, right?
I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do it, actually. That's a great idea. I might add that to my Cameo profile, like the optional 10-hour Zoom call where I say nothing. You have to raw dog your way through just sitting with me.
Yeah, it costs a lot.
10 hours.
10 hours straight of Hansen. And then you just know.
I'd charge about the same as a flight because it's similar to a flight.
Yeah, an international flight. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, you could pay me on points if you prefer.
And you're there on a Zoom with Hansen, and you just know that at some point, and having had this experience, I recommend it really. At some point, he's going to say something random, but it just
yes,
it helped me with my mindfulness because it blotted out the outside world. It was only you, Andrew, as a sort of sensei. In a way, as a guru, waiting to hear what you had to say, hanging on the words of the great Hansen.
Well, this is how I see myself, Dommy. I think this can really take off as an online phenomenon. Or it does feel very much like a mindfulness or wellness piece of hocus pocus that I could sell for thousands, tens of thousands per session.
I'm envisaging a giant, I don't know, maybe call it an ashram, call it a camp, call it a retreat, where thousands of people are sitting in lotus position, watching you on a giant screen, waiting to see what you'll say for 10 hours. I think I would be there in the field watching.
It's going to my head, Dommy. You're turning me into a cult leader. You're turning me into You're turning me into the family or the Jonestown.
The Maharishi. Let's make it more Beatlesy.
Yeah. Look, I'd be a pretty good cult leader, I think.
You would.
Because I've got that sort of oddness. I think I've got that
You're quirky.
thing about me where most people look at me and think I don't trust him. And yet about 5 people throw themselves at my feet.
They do. I remember this.
Life.
from our touring days, there were some people who only wanted to meet Hansen at the end of every live show we did around this wonderful country of ours. There was a hardcore, and there were a lot of fans of Craig, let's be honest, but they weren't discerning. It was the Hansen fans who were the most eager, and they may not have had as many as the Craig fans, but who can compare with the Craig fans, really? But the passion that they had, I think, far outshone anyone else.
Well, this is the thing about being the interesting one, Dommy, or indeed the good one in the group. You need somebody with taste. I mean, Craig, of course. Craig's kind of like, I see you're sipping a bottle of Coke right there.
Yeah.
Dommy. I mean, Craig's just the bog standard plastic Coca-Cola bottle.
Oh, he wouldn't like that. It would have to be in some sort of recyclable, recycled container.
On the cognac.
You're the cognac. You're the aged whiskey, the refined for an educated palate.
Yeah. No, I do. Yeah, or the Chateau Neuf du Pape. What are you, Dommy? Which beverage do you feel you are in this ensemble?
I'm not sure that I even I'm not sure I even have a spot on the shelf. Maybe off to the side somewhere.
Or are you a surprising one that people? I feel you're a surprising one that people realise they like only after they try it, like a creme de menthe.
A creme de menthe.
Perhaps you're the creme de menthe, or vermouth.
Possibly. Or perhaps something stranger. Perhaps like a Kahlua or something where you're just kind of going, what's in that bottle? Yeah, and it's sort of alcoholic milk.
Anybody ever had that?
I like that because I am quite milquetoast, but with a kick, hopefully. Yeah, that's good. Well, very nice. Very nice. Well, look, this is all. I feel we've started a movement here. I feel this isn't the end of this story. I feel that I don't know. Somehow you're going to be unleashed on the world as the leader of a tribe of devoted raw doggers.
Just you wait for my raw dogging offer. Keep an eye on my Cameo. If they offer the 10-hour video option or the 10-hour Zoom option, I don't know if the app does offer that.
No, you might have to book it through.
I'll have a look. You might have to do it separately, but I'll announce it anyway once it's up and running. And yeah, if you like, you can pay me a huge amount of cash, and I'll sit there on a Zoom call with you for 10 hours and say only one thing.
I really want someone
for your mind.
Someone's got to do this. I think it's if you've tried everything. If you've tried every known therapy, you've tried, I don't know, retreats and meditation and yoga and Pilates. You haven't tried
even actual therapy. Even if you've tried actual therapy,
psychotherapy. You haven't tried the Hansen 10-hour raw dog therapy. I think you should do this at the comedy festival. By the way, I think you should book it in.
Well, I feel it's a bit more serious than that, Dommy. I feel I should probably find a wellness festival to do it at.
But I'm just imagining
there's a mind and body festival, isn't there?
At the end of the comedy festival, particularly with the comics, they're all debauched and exhausted and drunk. And the day after,
I could make them feel better, perhaps.
In the Melbourne Town Hall, get everyone in there at 9 o'clock sharp through till 7 p.m.
Just sit
10
there
hours.
And say only one thing each.
Say only one thing on the stage.
Yeah,
they'd be paying the most amount of money for the fewest amounts of words.
I think that would be a good thing after. I mean, because everybody's. Do you do a lot of speaking in a stand-up solo show? I've noticed because you're expected to stand there and do nothing but speak for the entire show.
I know it's boring.
There's a lot of talking, so there could be something in that.
All right. Well, it's a vision. It's a vision we've had. Andrew, thank you for your leadership and the spiritual healing you've offered this messed up world.
Well, I feel I should respond with silence.
Gear is from Road. We're part of the Iconoclast Network. And look, if you're having a rough day, go back and listen to the 10-hour Raw Dog podcast. It's apparently therapeutic. Chicken Villava.